Good morning. As we are moving into winter, just like that, there are several preachers gathering here in a few minutes. So I'm looking forward to that, sitting around the table, encouraging one another, challenging each other, sharing ideas. And and it's just good to dwell together with brothers that are working hard also in the preaching ministry. Mitzi's on her way. She'll be here in a couple minutes with another casserole. So breakfast is going to be good at 9 o'clock, the last Tuesday of every month. So if you know a preacher in this area that would enjoy the fellowship, there's no real agenda, send them this way, the last Tuesday of the month at 9 o'clock in the morning. So we encourage you to invite them to come and be a part of that. As we're listening in to the letter to the Romans that the Apostle Paul wrote, I am constantly amazed as I'm rereading this letter how applicable it is. I know we're reading someone else's mail, but wow, it sure lands pretty squarely right in our laps today. We're continuing chapter 2, verse 3, where he says, "But do you suppose this, O man, when you pass judgment on those who practice such things, and do the same yourself, that you will escape the judgment of God?" You might remember the Sermon on the Mount where Jesus was preaching these beautiful, godly, radical ideas that challenged the culture of the day. When his disciples came to him and said, "Lord, teach us to pray," he gave them what we call the Lord's Prayer, is the Lord's model prayer. But there's a line in there that says, "And forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors," or "and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us." And then the next breath, when he finishes giving them that sample prayer, is, "For if you forgive men, you'll be forgiven. But if you will not forgive, you will not be forgiven." It's the same idea that the Apostle Paul was saying to the church in Rome. You are pointing out the error, the wickedness of their ways, and you're saying you ought to be condemned forever because of what you're doing. And then Paul says, but you turn around and you sin also. It may not be exactly the same kind of sin, but it's still a damnable sin. And you want God to condemn them, but not yourself. You turn around and do the same thing and think you're going to escape the judgment of God because, well, I went to church on Sunday, or because I taught a Sunday school class, or because I read my Bible this morning. I can do anything I want, and that's not the way it works. This is a matter of the heart. It's a matter of looking at other people and desiring with all your heart to see them go to heaven. They have a routine of wickedness sometimes in their life and deserve to go to hell. Yep, they do. But so do you. So do I. If we get what we deserve, then the grace of God is nothing to us. But if we land on the grace of God, don't we also want other people to land on the grace of God? When he holds us up, when he rescues us, when he pulls us out and provides us not just the hope of heaven, but an abundant life today with his Spirit dwelling with us, giving us his viewpoint and his perspective on decisions that lie ahead. Don't we want that same thing for the wicked person that just offended me or sinned against me? Don't we want them to go to heaven? And that's Paul's whole point. Do you ask God to condemn someone else, but want him to save you? Do I ask God to condemn that guy that was speeding and nearly crashed into my car because he ran through a red light? Do I want God to condemn him for that? Do I want God to condemn someone for cheating and costing me money? Do I want God to condemn him for that? What about, well, the list goes on and on and on. You can fill in your own blanks where people have sinned against you, or you've seen someone offended, a loved one hurt deeply, and you want the offender to go to hell. Then you turn around and sin against God, and you want him to let you into heaven. And Paul is saying that is not the way it works. And in our life today, let's replace the natural responses with the supernatural Spirit of the living God who dwells within us. Let's have a passion for the righteousness. We ought to press and hold people accountable so that they also can experience the grace of God. That's our whole point. We want people to be saved in the same way that he's saved us. We want people to be forgiven the same way he has forgiven us. We want people to be cleansed and washed, redeemed the same way he's done the same for us. Let's look at the world the way Christ looks at the world and enjoy the grace and the mercy and the forgiveness that is so abundant and poured out into our lives. Let it splash over into the lives of the people around you. Be generous with your forgiveness and your grace. Be clear and accountable. Hold other people accountable to do what's right, to suffer the consequences if consequences are needed. But our overwhelming passion is to see people go to heaven. God bless you. He loves you, and we love you.